Yep, they trying to do it. I've been saying it for quite some time. Scotus is planning to overturn Roe v. Wade, and there's already been a leaked 98-page draft opinion that was obtained by this outlet called Politico, and it has Samuel Alito's name all over it because he wrote it. This is his opinion. It is a draft, but baby, I'm telling you, they gonna really try to overturn this. And I'm going to explain to you why they will be successful at it. So, it reads, according to New York Post, Scotus has drafted opinion to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court has written an opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark decision that provides women with a constitutionally protected right to an abortion, a report said. The draft majority opinion was written by Justice Samuel Alito and provided to Politico. Roe was egregiously wrong from the start, Alito writes in the 98-page draft opinion obtained by the outlet. The conservative-controlled Supreme Court has rejected the 1973 decision that guaranteed constitutional protections for abortion rights, as well as the subsequent Planned Parenthood v. Casey decision in 1992. We hold that Roe and Casey must be overturned, he writes in a document labeled as the opinion of the court. It is time to heed the Constitution and return to the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. The draft ruling, which was written in February, would end the federal abortion protections and instead leave the decision up to each state to restrict or ban abortions. It's not clear if there have been subsequent changes to the draft, Politico reported. No draft decision in the court's modern history has been released publicly while a final decision on a case was still pending, according to the outlet. Scotus judges are known to have changed their votes as opinions circulate, Politico noted. And major decisions such as this can go through multiple drafts before a final decision is made. A source familiar with the court's discussions on the matter told the outlet that 4 of the other conservative justices, Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, joined Alito in his vote after the judges convened following oral arguments in December. The 4 judges have maintained their positions as of this week. The source said Democratic appointed justices Stephen Breyer, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan were working on one or more dissents, leaving Justice John Roberts, who is expected to either join the dissent or pen an opinion of his own. The right to have an abortion up until around 23 or 24 weeks has been federally protected under the Constitution since the Roe v. Wade 49 years ago. In December, the Supreme Court signaled its willingness to overturn the landmark case and permit a Mississippi ban on abortion after 15 weeks. If the Alito draft is adopted, it would rule in favor of Mississippi, prompting about 26 states in the South and Midwest to move to immediately ban abortion, according to the Guttmacher Institute, an abortion rights advocacy research group. The court's final decision is expected later this spring. I told everyone that they was going to do this. I've known about this since last year. Okay? So for all of you out here that's upset that they're going to overturn Roe v. Wade, because they're going to do it, let me tell you this. You shouldn't have been promoting the mandates. Because see, now, everything people were saying, my body, my choice, and you all pro-mandate people was like, no, how can you think about yourself when it comes to a health crisis? Well, guess what? Now they're going to touch Roe v. Wade. Because, see, they got away with this. Because, see, the government is not only mandating what you can put inside your body to just keep a job, they're going to make you carry your children now for 9 months. They're going to make you carry your children. You see how these mandates slapped y'all? I don't want to say the S word like that. It's a term of expression, but you see how it backtracked in your faces? And I called it. I said, if these mandates go through in these particularly liberal states, the conservatives is going to get back at y'all by overturning Roe v. Wade. You should have never put the mandates in the first place. And I'm talking to all the advocates of Roe v. Wade. Now you know how it feels. And now you're going to know how it feels. People lost their jobs over those mandates because they didn't want to put this stuff in their body. And now you all are going to have to be forced to carry your babies. Because the days of the coat hangers are over, darling. Because you know why? They don't even make wire hangers anymore. Remember, 100 years ago, even 50 years ago, that's how women was doing the do, if you know what I mean. Now, I'm going to say something. I'm pro-life, but I'm not pro-birth. So in other words, I will never be out there with a pro-life person because they're really pro-birth. And the pro-choice people aren't really so much pro-choice. They're really pro-abort, if you know what I mean. Because we can't really say like the words like that. But they really aren't really about the choice. Because if they was pro-choice, they would advocate for the rights of women who want to keep their babies. But you're only advocating the rights of women who want to terminate their pregnancies. So both parties are full of S. And this is why I say this was the beginning of extreme politics. Now, here's my thing with Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade itself was a crap of turds. First of all, the lady who was the central figure of Roe v. Wade, she basically lied and said that a black man ought her. That's how this whole thing really got traction. She lied and said a black man ought her and she had to get an abortion. That's what this woman said. Okay? She lied and said a black man ought her. Because in those days, they knew that if you said those type of words and it involved a white woman, it would really, 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 really gain traction. The woman who was the pseudonym under J. Roe, Nova McCovey, she went on to be against abortion rights. She became pro-life instead of pro-choice. But the reason how Roe v. Wade was passed and it was ruled in her favor was that the due process clause of the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution provides a right to privacy that protects a woman's rights to choose whether to have an abortion. But it also ruled that this right is not absolute and must be balanced against government interests in protecting women's health and prenatal life. And the court resolved this balancing test by tying state regulations of abortion to the 3 trimesters of pregnancy. During the first trimester, the governments could not prohibit abortions at all. During the second trimester, governments could require reasonable health regulations, but during the third trimester, abortions could be prohibited entirely so long as the laws contain exceptions for cases where it was necessary to save the life or health of the mother. That's like ectopic pregnancy, or when the baby's outside of the womb. So, the court classified the right to choose to have an abortion as fundamental, which required courts to evaluate challenged abortion laws under the strict scrutiny standard, the highest level of judicial review of the United States. So you see what they did was they attached foundational Black Americans, something that our ancestors fought for, which was citizenship rights that we would basically inherit. And they made it to where, okay, we'll use the due process clause to make abortion legal, which is basically prohibits arbitrary depravity of life, liberty, or property. And, the whole pursuit of happiness thing, my rights, my choice in life. So basically, because that is attached to the 14th Amendment, that's how they was able to pass it. But you lied and said a black man raped you. Now, I know I'm not going to be monetized for this. I'm just going to be honest because I said the word. Because you know they got the trigger words now. But the reality of the whole thing is that you can't go and pass mandates to want people to put something in their body for them to work, but then not expect the government to basically say, okay, you're going to now keep your babies. You're going to now do this. You're not going to do that. Now, here's my issue that has bothered me more so, and it's been Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood was getting financial money, federal monies, to basically stay afloat. I am a person who's pro-life. I don't want y'all getting my tax dollars so that y'all can stay afloat. Get some donations for some pro-choice people. So when the Planned Parenthood, ruling occurred, because I remember Planned Parenthood versus Casey, because I was about 8-9 years old. That was really the beginning of the pushback of Roe v. Wade. That's when people were like, no. You ain't getting my money for this. You're not getting my money. And that was the beginning of people trying to overturn it. They've been trying this for decades. This is 30 years. But the mandates is what did it. Now, here's how I feel about the whole thing in general. I have always said that I am pro-life, meaning that I want to see babies grow up to have a healthy life. I want them to be taken care of by our government and to get adequate health care and things of that nature. I don't want to just see babies being born. Because if you just want your numbers being born, see babies being born to get your numbers up, you're not pro-life. You're just pro-birth. And this is the whole thing why they're really also trying to overturn Roe v. Wade. See, numbers of certain groups of people have decimated over the past 50 years. It is a known fact that 1973 has the lowest birth rate in this country. If you really want to count the amount of people that you run into or meet, 1973 is going to be the year where you don't know a lot of people. People born under that year have the lowest birth rate in this country. It's a known fact. But our numbers, as far as black people's numbers, have picked up. But white people's numbers are losing because of this ruling. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to get their numbers up. And they know the only way they can get it up is overturn Roe v. Wade. And make it a state choice. Now, here's the thing. I agree with that. And here's why. Women aren't going to stop having abortions. You can make this illegal all throughout the 50 states. They will basically get somebody to basically do something radical if they don't want that baby. It is what it is. You can't, see, this is the whole thing too. You can't stop somebody for doing something they want to do. Remember, my body, my choice. Wasn't that what people were saying in 2021, last year? And my body, my choice was actually from Roe v. Wade. So if somebody doesn't want something or they don't want to do something, they will go to all the means to want to do it and not want to do it. So you're going to always have people who are going to do this act because people have been doing this for centuries. They were dying from it, which is why they decided, let's make it legal. Let's not make healthcare providers, offer this service. But here's the problem. The problem with that is you were putting these services in black predominant communities. And then you had people from other races coming to our communities wanting these services. Then you realize that a lot of the women from your communities did not want to have the babies. So now you're realizing, oh shit, our numbers are bad. Our numbers are down. See, it was all well, good and dandy when we was doing it. Now that everybody from practically the majority group is getting the service, you're all mad. This will backfire because you're going to have a lot of people, particularly white women, that's going to go out and they're going to chant. And I'm going to tell you something else. If they can overturn Roe v. Wade, they can try to overturn everything else. This is why I always say this. To all the Black people out there that are chanting and happy for this, you might be careful. You got to be careful because they will end up overturning Brown versus Board of Ed. They will end up overturning the Miranda law decision. They will end up overturning a lot of decisions. We're in an extreme identity politics era, okay, where we have the extreme left and the extreme right going at it. It's not, neocons and neoliberals going at it, which really they never really did. And when they did, it was civil and it was mentally normal. This ain't mentally normal that you see, okay? This is, I'm going to be honest with you, what you're seeing is the same thing that was going on in the beginning of Nazi Germany, where people saw a man named Adolf Schlosslenberg or Schlosslinker or Hitler, and people were like, oh yes, we love him. Oh yeah, they loved him so much. They allowed him to basically do the stuff that he ended up doing, which ended up killing multiple millions of people. Because I don't care what nobody say. I say it was more than 6 million of a group of people. I've always said that. They say that. I think the numbers was practically about 20 million people were that they basically slaughtered. I think it was 20 million. That's a whole nother discussion, but I will probably one day talk about why I've come to that conclusion. But this is how it starts. This is how this stuff starts. I'm not in favor of Roe v. Wade. I don't like the idea of abortion. But hey, it is what it is. I don't want to see people think that they can take away and overturn this because they really want to overturn something else. Because if they'll be able to overturn this, they're going to really try. I'm telling you, they're going to try to overturn Brown versus Topeka Board of Education, Topeka, Kansas. And they've been trying to do that for decades also. They've been trying to overturn the Voting Rights Act. They've been trying to overturn, it's a lot of stuff that they've been trying to do. So, to all you pro-life out there, pro-choice people, I called it. You should have been against the mandates. You should have been against the mandates. Now you see why we were against the mandates, because of this right here. And with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Anna Loco. I'm signing off. I'll be back shortly to upload another commentary. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, share, comment, like. And my Cash App is $Bella Champagne 15. Thank you.